Wayne's gopher brought in some pay and kept her most desperate worries at bay, at least during working hours. She couldn't ask more than that of her new life. Not yet. Was that shushing sound the river tumbling over its banks, or just the breeze through the spruce tops? Where was Dee? Only 3 minutes had passed. The emptiness was getting to her. Too much open space after a decade in the overpopulated Lower Mainland, where even the wilderness trails were rarely empty. It was a 2-minute drive down the hill into Bragg Creek. She could grab a burger at the bar, the only eatery that wouldn't look askance at her dusty jeans, work boots, and faded t-shirt. Okay, 2 more minutes and then she was going. She scanned the front of the house again. Still, no drapes fluttered, but this time she recognized something odd she'd overlooked in her annoyance. Dee loved the sun and the wide-open sky, fir trees piercing the blue, birds fluttering past her windows. Loved to watch deer wander through the yard to nibble on anything she planted. She had gushed about all that to Lacey when she'd first moved out here, 6, maybe 7 years ago. That explained the spiky shrubs, anyway. Not deer food. Why now were all the windows shrouded in heavy drapes on a celestially sunny day, when small birds were squabbling around a seed tray suspended from the porch overhang? All these Dee loved, and yet she had blocked them out. Lacey straightened up, surveying the house with the keen ex-cop's eyes she hadn't fully brought to bear earlier. No visible windows were open, but that could mean air conditioning. No drapes had been disturbed since her last scan. If the back of the house wasn't as closed in, maybe Dee was merely protecting expensive upholstery from sun damage. Circling the house would fill in the 2 minutes nicely. A single glance inside could ease the half-formed worry that her old friend might be lying injured inside, victim of an accident, or worse. Times beyond count as a constable, she had undertaken welfare checks on strangers, saved a few, and found some past saving. She could not let this one pass her by. Returning to the carved front door, she turned left past the vast windows and around a massive fieldstone chimney stack. Each window she saw was securely locked and swathed. French doors on the rear terrace had their blinds turned down too tight to see anything at all between the slats. Impossible to guess which rooms lay beyond which windows. She'd seen grow-ops less carefully cloistered. A plank deck connected the terrace and the front patio to a triple-car garage. A high post-and-beam pergola supported a riot of blossoms in hanging baskets well above the reach of a deer's teeth. Garage doors, all locked. No sign of forced entry anywhere. No signals of distress. Just an unfriendly house devoid of its current resident. She skirted the sage-green deck furniture and looked again over the rear yard. The spruce circle was wider here, leaving space for a tended lawn and opening a gap where a woodland path ran up to a wider trail. A wire-fenced dog run attached to the garage was deserted, but the stainless steel water bowl was half full. Maybe Dee had simply taken a dog for a walk. She'd always had a dog. Young Duke, a honey-haired Labrador, had hiked the Algonquin Trail with them when he was a gambling pup, barely knee-high. He'd be old now, and slow. Maybe it was a slow walk, and this search and speculation were only the old habits of a cop's brain that had not quite retired 6 weeks ago when Lacey's resignation letter landed on her staff sergeant's desk. The RCMP had been her life for most of a decade, and now it wasn't. Her head needed time to adjust to civilian life, to stop seeing criminals behind every closed curtain. Dee had simply gone for a walk and lost track of time. Blue sky reflected on glass in the garage's rear wall. A window inside the dog run above Lacey's head.